Okay, let's take a look at the TI-83, TI-84 calculators using the calculator workout. We have our problems here and our answers are at the bottom. Let's look at the first problem. We want to raise 9 to the 7/15 power, so we press 9. Now the key that we use to indicate raising to a power is the hat sign key, so we'd hat sign it up to, we'd like to raise it to the 7/15 power, but remember order of operations, we need to put the 7/15 in parentheses. If we didn't, then the 9 would be raised to the 7th power first, and then that result would be divided by 15. That's not what we want. So let's put parentheses here, then 7. Notice what happens when I press the divide key. It displays as this fraction bar. Let's see, divide by 15, then close parentheses. Now we simply have to press enter and we get our first answer. The next problem, we want to get the 11th root of this number. The first thing we do is we take the index of that radical, we'll put that into display. Then we'll go to the math key and we'll select option 5 out of that menu. Now option 5 says the very first thing we should put before we bring up option 5 is the index of the radical. Then we do option 5 from math, and then we put the number in. So 488, 281, 25, and then press enter. And that gives us our second answer. Now the next problem looks fairly straightforward. We just take 13, raise it to the 4th power, and remember the key we use for raising to a power is hat sign 4, and that gives us our next answer. Now we want to take something that's less than 1 and raise it to a power, but that shouldn't cause us any difficulty. 0.01. We'll hat sign that up to the 3rd power, we'll cube it, and we get, now it's important to recognize that this 1e-6 is TI's way of what the TI-84 and TI-83, that's their way of showing scientific notation. So this answer really is 1 times 10 to the -6. 1e-6 implies 1 times 10 to the -6, their way of doing scientific notation in these calculators. Let's go to the next problem. Look straightforward, 11 raised to the 5th power, and it is straightforward. We very quickly get our next answer. Now once again we're going to get the 7th root of something. You get a root of something, in this case the 7th root. And remember the first thing we'll do is take the index of that radical, put it into display, then we'll go to math, and remember we select option 5. Now we put the number in. This case is less than 1, but makes no difference to us, and then simply press enter. We get our next answer. Now let's finish the way that we began by taking a number and raising it to a fractional power, 0.2152944, and remember the key that we use to raise to a power is the hat sign key. We want to raise this to the 7/8 power, but it has to go in parentheses, so we open the parentheses and then 7 divided by 8, then close parentheses. Press enter and we get our final answer, approximately 77. Okay, let's take a look at the TI-83, TI-84 calculators using the calculator workout. We have our problems here and our answers are at the bottom. Let's look at the first problem. We want to raise 9 to the 7/15 power, so we press 9. Now the key that we use to indicate